welcome to this week's Wealth Management Digest. We have three headlines this week. The first one is Bill Crager stepping down as CEO at Envestnet. The reason on his own is big news, considering Bill has been a pioneer within the industry, but it is interesting in the sense of how, wouldn't call it a 12-month period, we had so much of a passing the baton, right? We had April of last year, John Weiss at Investcloud moving on as CEO. We had Eric Clarke and May of last year at Orion stepping down. We had Riskalyze founder Aaron Klein stepping down as CEO in November. And then now in January, we have Bill Krager, right? So definitely big news. And I think it does feel like a passing of the baton from the pioneers of, call it, technology for independent advisors to the next wave of founders and builders. And I have no doubt that a lot of these folks will join boards and will continue to mentor that next generation. Second headline was Edelman Financial Engines closed down their tax prep services, is different, I should say, from their tax planning services that they offer, but they did close tax prep. And I think that this is just a reality, which is tax implementation is time consuming, and it's often offered because clients want more for that 1%. But we have seen that here at Zoe a fair bit, which is a lot of firms try to kind of offer it because others do as well. And then they realize this is not in our DNA. This is not our core offering. This is just one use case. But I think there will be plenty others that try to offer something, but then realize, yeah, just because others are doing it might not necessarily be how we can differentiate ourselves. Then the last headline is, on Wednesday of this past week, the SEC finally issued wholesale approval of 11 spot Bitcoin ETFs. This is huge news. The cryptocurrency world had been waiting for the SEC to approve for ETFs, which will, from their perspective, hopefully allow for higher adoption from the masses rather than just kind of early adopters of cryptocurrency. I think the big question for advisors will be, does this mean that you'll have to look at it as another part of your asset allocation decision, right? The way you would for commodities or REITs, et cetera. That's to be seen. It's still very early days, but it is definitely kind of this first step of mass adoption is to get SEC approval for ETFs. So we'll follow that story as it unfolds. That is it for this week. Stay tuned for next week.